Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys what you need to know about Australian visitors visa, which is the visa subclass 600. Yes, so I'm stealing this opportunity because I'm cooking right behind me, so if you can hear any sound, just please ignore it. It is me cooking right behind me this evening. Okay, so yeah, several people have reached out to me to ask if they are able to convert their visitors visa to a work visa, and I just wanted to address that and then stating what the basic requirement of the subclass 600 visa is. Subclass 600 visa is a tourist visa, and when you're applying for this visa, it is with the mindset you're coming as a tourist, coming as a family sponsored visitor or whatnot. You are not expected to work. And what is the main criteria for this visa? It's just two items. One is that you are a genuine visitor, and the second is a proof that you have sufficient fund to take care of yourself while you're on your visit to Australia, right? So what are the things you need to prove that you're a genuine visitor? If you're a genuine visitor, you must prove to the visa officer that once your visitation is over, you have something tangible to go back home to. You're just here temporarily. For instance, if you're a student and you're visiting Australia as a tourist, you must prove to the visa officer that, oh, I'm in school, I definitely need to go back in school. So that proves to the visa officer that definitely you have something you're pursuing back home. And if you're a working class person as well, you can get a letter from your employer and say, hey, this person is going on vacation, we are aware this person is going on leave, visiting Australia briefly, and will be back in their home country after the visit. So, and if you're an elderly person as well, you need to prove that you have something back home. Sometimes it might just be assets, you have a business, you just have something tangible you will have to return back home to in your home country. Even sometimes you can prove family ties, like I still have my children back home, I'll definitely have to go back to them. Like those are the things you need to prove that you are a genuine visitor. And the funds is as simple as it is. Proof of funds, enough funds. I have enough money to take care of myself while I'm in Australia. Most times it's usually bank statement you'll be providing. So yeah, and then sometimes I know people go as far as booking reservations, maybe have an itinerary of what you plan to do while you're on this visit. So those are the things you need to provide to the visa officer for the visitors visa, right? Visitors slash tourist visa. So now let's go back to the question of, can I change my visa category while on a student visa and come in here? Like what if I come here on a visitors visa, can I change to either student or can I change to a work visa? I'm not going to say that this is not possible, but for me, it is not advisable and it is not the best route to come into Australia. Because for one, you've applied for this tourist visa. You don't go on a visit somewhere and eventually stay there permanently, except for unforeseen circumstances, right? So if you're coming here as a tourist or as a visitor and you start applying for jobs, even if you get the job, I would advise you go back home and then come back with the work visa. Reasons being that for your future applications, it might be affected by this one occurrence. You might think, oh, I eventually got the work visa, things worked out for me, I came on the tourist, I transitioned to a work visa. For your future visas, like the visa officer might have doubt about you and say, oh, this person was not truthful at the initial visa we granted them. You know what I mean? So it is just reasonable and it just makes sense for you to come into Australia for the reason why your visa was granted. If you need to come on another visa category, maybe come here, make your research, look around, see how things are working, and see if it's a place you want to actually settle in. Go back home and then come back, right? That's just the best thing to do because it might affect you. And who even say if you, for instance, you sell all your property and come under pretense that you're coming on a visitor's visa, get into Australia, who told you you get a job? I'm not saying it's not possible, but what is the percentage? How guaranteed is this? If you come in, get stranded, what happens to you? And coming here, even spending 2 months in Australia is a whole lot of money. So you spent all your investment back home that you came in with, and now you're stranded. And Australia is not one of those countries you can live without papers, because How do you survive? Bills will keep piling up. Everything you do in this Australia, they're literally asking for your visa category, for your visa. Like, so what will you present to live a peaceful life around the place? There are people who do these things and able to get away with it, but don't put yourself in that. Like, you're just risking life itself, because if you are caught, you'll be sent back home, and what do you stand to gain? So it's just right for you to do things in the right procedure or right order. So if you want to come to Australia permanently, look for ways you can come in, look for the different visa categories you can come in. But if you're coming on a tourist visa, by all means apply for the visa subclass 600, proving to the visa officer that you're here temporarily and you'll be back to your home country with the right document. Like the subclass 600, there are 3 types of visa. There are different categories. We have the tourist visa, which is just you're a tourist, you don't know anybody here, you're coming here to just have fun, enjoy your holiday. And then we have the family sponsored stream, which is the stream my parents came in with. And in this stream, it's just that you have a family member in Australia who is either Australian permanent residents or citizens, so they are able to sponsor you to come into Australia. And then we also have the business visitor, which obviously you're coming here for business, right? So business visa. So with the Australian visitors visa, you can stay up to 12 months. You can stay up to 12 months. So it depends on what you want. And the fee is about $150. It is quite cheap, to be honest. Like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh wow, interesting. So it cost $150, and then for both of them, I think I paid $300. And what else do you need to know? It usually comes out very fast, although I've heard that sometimes it's faster than each other depending on the backlog of applications they have at every point in time. When I applied for my parents, it came out about, I think, 5 days. My dad came out first in about 5 days, and my mom was about 6 or 7 days. Like, just, I can't remember for sure now, but my dad for sure came out in 5 days, and my mom took about 6 or 7 days. For medicals, if you're coming for less than 3 months, you don't need to do any medical examination. But anything more than that, if you're staying for 12 months, you definitely need to go for medical examination. They will advise you on where to go and how to go about that once you put in your application. So yeah, my parents did not have to do any medical examination because they were coming in for 3 months, right? So they didn't do any of that, and their visa was granted. And they didn't ask for anything. What did I submit? I submitted I think my payslip, my bank statements, and I just took, say, a few of their own documents from back home to show that they have these assets and they definitely have tangible things they have to go back home to. Overall, I think that's everything you need to know about Australian visa. And just like every other visa application, make sure you're submitting complete, correct, and not misleading information, because that is the #1 reason why people are not granted their visas and they're angry, or things does not just work out, right? So make sure you're submitting the right information they've required, and make sure, like, even when you're using an agent, make sure you review the application before they submit, because at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong with the application, or if they submit a false document on your behalf, it is in your name. The agent has nothing to lose. So make sure you review whatever they're submitting on your behalf. Most of Australian visa, like I always say, is very easy to apply for by yourself. I did my parents' visa by myself, just sitting by my laptop, and I applied, and it came through. And a lot of people have said the same thing. It's quite straightforward. You don't need an agent for a tourist visa, to be honest. Like, what's there to prove? Just 2 things: that you're a genuine visitor and you have the right proof of fund. And also, finally, to mention, I understand that if you're showing proof of fund, I feel, and you're coming for maybe 3 months or less, the right amount to have to just show them that you can take care of yourself on this trip will be about $10,000. So I don't know what in naira, I think that's about 5 million naira. So just to prove, because obviously you have to show evidence that you can buy your ticket, you can get your accommodation, and that's $10,000 per person. That's just the about right amount to show. It's not there's no rule of thumb, or it's not cast in stone, right? But it's just the right amount to prove to them that I'm good, I can take care of myself. So that's it about this video. If there's any question, please drop it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.